Hello there, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to look at a common test of September 2022. So we are going to start on the first question, that is on question one, which is a mathematical literacy educator attended the Metric Top Teachers and Achievers Awards, a ceremony organized by her district. She is one of the teachers who obtained 100% at four level 7 out of 60 learners in the October or November 2021 examination. The awards include a certificate and 5,000 cash. And the awards ceremony was held on 11 February 2022. So we are given a picture of a rectangular certificate, and then also have dimensions of a rectangular certificate. Of course, in terms of the dimensions, it is 27 by 21. So on the question part now, it reads using the diagram and the information above to answer the question that we are having. First part is saying write down the date on which the award ceremony was held. So if you refer back there, you would see that the date is mentioned here is 11 February 2022. So that is our answer on that part. That is 1.1.1. Then we move on to the next question, which is 1.1.2. Write the cash amount in words, of which the cash amount that we have is 5,000 cash, and then we have to write it in words. So our 5,000. So it's basically 5,000 rands. So with that, we'll move on to the next part, which is 1.1.3. Determine the length of the certificate. Of course, we are given our dimensions of the certificate here. That is our dimensions of the certificate is 27 by 21. So obviously, in terms of the length, it is the longer side, which is 27 centimeters. So we have 27 centimeters, 1.1.3. So in terms of the next question, which is 1.1.4, write the probability. The probability of the award ceremony attended on the 10th of February 2022. The probability of the award ceremony attended on the 10th of February 2022. So you see that it was held on 11th of February. So in that case, 10, it can never be held on the 10th because we have got only one outcome, which is 11. So it means our probability is 0 in terms of 1.1.4. So we are saying probability is equal to 0, meaning it's impossible. So we go to the next part now, which is now 1.2. The layout plan of the awards ceremony venue is illustrated below. So given the layout of the awards ceremony venue, of course, we have got table 1, 2, table 6. So the first question is define the term layout plan in the given context. Of course, the context that we have is that we are given a venue that we have. So obviously, this is arrangement of the award according to the venue that we have. And remember, here it's written layout of the award ceremony venue. So that is how we are going to define the term layout plan. So in terms of the definition, we are now saying layout plan is the plan showing the seating arrangement the seating arrangement of the award venue in relation to one another. So basically, this is the description of layout plan according to the given context. So we move on to the next question, which is say, write down the number of people who attended the award ceremony if all seats were occupied. So of course, we're going to count the number of seats and see what we have. You see that in terms of the number of seats, we are having 6 seats. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got a total of 10 on each and every table. It seems that on each and every table we've got 10 seats. So how many tables we have? We have a total of 6 tables. Each table having 10 10 seats. So if all the seats if all the seats were occupied, we are going to say 10 seats on each table. And we multiply by 6 tables. And then we are going to get a total of 60 people. So this becomes your response to 1.2.2. Then 1.2.3, set the general direction of table 6 from table 3. So we indicate our table 6. We see that this is our table 6 is indicated. And we have table 3 here. So table 6 from 3. So 3 we are here. So we are saying so we can put our directions on this part, whereby we are saying this is our north and this is our south, and we have put east, we have put west. So and then we connect to table 6. So with that, we can see that we have southeast. So southeast is our response. That is on question 1.2.3. So that is what we have on that part. Then we move on to the next part, whereby it is measure the length of table 1 in centimeters. So of course, our table 1, we have it here. And of course, the length we are saying from this part to this part. So obviously, you're going to use a ruler to measure. And if you measure, you're going to see that you're going to get it as 6.8 centimeters. So that's what we have on that part. Then we move on to the next question. Remember, our question 1 is 16 marks. So that we move on to the next question, which is going to be our question 2. Question 2, Mr. Alvin received a bank statement from ABC Bank. Table 1 below shows the part of the statement from 1 May 2022 to 28 May 2022. Note 1 May 2022 was a public holiday. And then you're given Mr. Alvin's bank statement. So that's what we have. On the first part of our question, is saying define the term opening balance in the given context. So you see that opening balance reflects the balance at the beginning of the bank statement of Mr. Alvin. So we are saying 2.1. So the opening balance it is the balance at the beginning of Mr. Alvin. So 2.1, that's what we have. We move on to 2.2, determine the value of A and B. So A, we have it here. So this is a deposit, and the deposit obviously it increases the balance. So it's going to be an addition. So in terms of A, to get 13,000, you're going to say negative 2,002. So if you say negative 2,520, then you add your A, because a deposit will increase the balance. You're going to be a plus A. You get your 30,000 rands as the balance. So now to get your A, you make it out with the formula whereby it becomes A is equals to 18,000. And then you take negative 2,520 the other side, it becomes a positive. So basically, if you add there, you're going to get your answer is A equal to 15,520. So basically, this is your final answer. And of course, this is our A. So I will not move on to the next part, whereby it reads calculation of B now. So you calculate B. So to get our B, remember this is the 370 rands 30 cents is a POS purchase. So it's going to subtract the balance. So you say 13,000 minus 13,000 minus 370 rands 30 cents. So that's how we arrive there. So this is going to be calculation of B. So B is equal to 13,000, which is 13,000 minus 370 rands 30 cents. So we're going to get your B as 4,629 rands 70 cents. So this is basically what we have for this part. Then moving on to the next question, which is now 2.3, state why with the reason why some of the digits in the account number are not shown. So these are the digits that are indicated here. So the ones that are not shown are in star. So basically this is for security reasons. So this is now 2.3. They are saying 4. For security reasons. From 2.3, we now move on to our 2.4. Mr. Aven withdrew 5,560 rands on 14/05/2022 from the other bank ATM. Determine the bank charges for his transaction. You may use the formula transaction fee equal to 2 rand plus 120 cents per 100 rands in brackets or part thereof. So remember, part thereof is just rounding up. So we're saying the 5,560 will be 6,000 if we use part thereof. So we are saying 2.4. On our 2.4, we have 6,000. We are saying this 5,560. We're using part thereof will be 6,000. So we now calculate using 6,000. And the formula that we have says 2 rand plus 120. Pay 100 rands. So we need to find out how many 100 rands are inside our 6,000. So to find that, we are now saying 6,000 divided by 100. And then you are going to get your answer. Get your answer is 60. So now to substitute it on this part. On this part now we are saying it is equal to our 2 rand, and then we add 1 rand 20. We multiply by 60. So if you further calculate it, so you see that you are going to get your answer is 74. Because if you calculate 1 rand 20 times 60, it's going to give you an answer of 72. Or 72, then you add 2 rand, it becomes 74. So basically, this is what we have in terms of our answer. And with that, we move on to the next part of our question, which is now 2.5. So 2.5 reads 2.5 reads Mr. Alvin decides on using EFT for any transactions. Table 2 below shows the transaction fees that will be applicable. So this is what we have. The minimum transaction fee is 620. Maximum transaction fee is 32 rand. So use the information above to answer questions that follow. Calculate the following values from table 2 above. You may use the formula EFT. Transaction fee equals 2 rand plus 120 pay 100 rands per part thereof. So in terms of our C, we are just going to use this formula, whereby we are saying this is 2.5.1, whereby we are saying our 2 rand plus 1 rand 20. As 1 rand 20. And then we multiply by 100, the number of 100 rands inside 1,000. So we are saying 1,000 divided by 100. So further simplify it, becomes 2 rand times 1 rand 20 times 300 into 1,000, you get 10. So in brackets, then we obviously further calculate it, you see that you're going to get your answer is 14 rand. So this becomes the final answer of 2.5.1 in terms of calculation of C. So this is our C. So that we move on to the next part where we're going to calculate our D. So our D, we are going to leave it like that, and then we calculate it as the subject of the formula. So we calculate our D. Transaction fee is 32. So 32, so in this case, we're going to say 32 as the transaction fee is equal to this formula, and then we make a D the numerator when you divide it by 100. Remember, we are saying the total amount divided by 100 to get the number of 100 rands inside the total amount. Then we can calculate D in the subject formula. So in that case, we are saying our D is going to be your remember our we are given our transaction fee is 32. So it's saying 32 is equals to 2 rand plus 120. In brackets, we say D over 100. Then we are going to find D as the sum of the formula. So with that, we can first take 2 rand the other side, whereby it becomes 32. This is our 32 rand. We have to subtract your 2 rand. And then it becomes 1 rand 20 D over 100. So with that, we have now here we have got 30 rand. And of course, we have our 1 rand 20, which we have to divide both sides, whether it can come here and say divided by 1 rand 20 close to T over 100. Then we multiply by 100 rand both sides, it becomes 30 rand over 1 rand 20 times 100. Go to D. So if you calculate like that, you see that the final answer that you're supposed to get is 2,500. 2,500 rands. So it's equal to our D. So that is what we have on that part. And then we move on to the next question. It is saying, explain the meaning of parts are thereof in the above formula. Of course, part thereof means anything that is not 100 will be taken as 100. Anything that is less than 100 will be taken as 100. So that's what we have, 2.5.3. Thereof means anything that is less than 100 will be taken as 100. Anything that is less than 100 rands will be taken as 100 rands. So that's exactly what it means. And then move on to the last part of question 2. Give a reason why you think there is a maximum transaction fee used by the banks. Of course, to avoid charging people more money for transactions. So we're saying 2.5.4 is to avoid charging. To avoid charging people more money for transactions. So according to question 3, it reads that the district likes the frame of the certificate to be painted in black and the front with the glass is shown in the picture. So we're given a picture of a rectangular certificate with frame and then dimensions of a rectangular certificate with frame. So below that, in terms of our dimensions, outer frame is 27 by 21, inner frame is 25 by 18. And then we first question is calculate the value of A, the width of the frame of the certificate in centimeters. So the frame, obviously, if you check, the frame will be from this point to this point. So that's the width that we are going to measure. But of course, we have to use, remember the outer is 27, so it means from here to here, we have got 27 centimeters. And then the width, we are saying from this point to this point, we have 21. And then on the inner part, we have 25 centimeters from this point to this point. So we have 25. Then 18 is from this point to this point. So with that now, we are saying to calculate the width of the frame, we just want from this point to this point. So if you subtract 27 minus 25, you'll be left with this part and this part. So we are going to have 2 A's this A and this A, 2A. So if you say 27 minus 25, you get 2A. So that's how we are going to calculate it. So we are saying our 2A, that is on our question 3.1.1. 2A is equals to 27 centimeters minus 25 centimeters. 27 centimeters minus our 25 centimeters. So you see that we are going to get it as 2A equals to 2 centimeters. So obviously we are going to divide by 2 on both sides, and finally it becomes our A equal to 1 centimeter. So this is our final answer. So we move on to the next part of our question, which is now 3.1.2. Determine the total length around the frame in centimeters. So around the frame, obviously, we are going to use the outer frame, which is 27 centimeters by 21 centimeters. So they want the perimeter, the total length. So you're going to have our 27 plus 21, and then we divide by 2 because we've got two sides. 27 centimeters, two sides for 21 centimeters. So we are saying 3.1.2. This is our perimeter. Whereby we are saying we add the two sides, 27 centimeters plus 21 centimeters. The answer that we are going to get to multiply by 2. So with that, we see that you're going to get your answer is 96 centimeters. So this becomes your final answer. So from 3.1.2, we go to 3.1.3. And of course, this is the formula that you're just supposed to apply, as given in the question. Then 3.1.3, the area of inside section of the certificate is 450 450 square centimeters. So we are saying the inside section of the certificate is this small rectangle inside. It has an area of 450 square centimeters. So we can indicate it there. So we say it's 450 square centimeters. So with that now, the question says, let's calculate the area of the wooden frame section in the square centimeters. You may use the formula area of the wooden frame equals to area of the whole certificate minus area of the inside section. So area of the whole certificate, we get it by saying 27 times 21. So we start with that as our 3.1.3. So area of outer is given is area of outer frame. Equals to 27 centimeters times 21 centimeters. So we multiply it like that, you get 567 centimeters squared. So to get the area of the frame, remember the frame is this part. So we are supposed to say the outer minus the inner. So the 567 minus 450, then you get the this part that we have here. So in that case, maybe. So in that case, we are saying on 3 points, we are saying now the 567 square centimeters And then we subtract the inner part which you are given is 450. So we get your answer is 117 square centimeters. So basically that's what we have on 3.1.3. And moving on to the next part now, which is going to be on 3.1.4. So 3.1.4, we have it, this part whereby it reads a amount. The certificate designer says it will take in 5 hours to design 60 certificates. If it takes in 5 years to design one certificate, verify showing all calculations whether the statement is correct. So obviously, if one certificate takes 5 minutes, doing 60 certificates, we're going to say 60 times 5. So that's 3.1.4. We are saying certificate. One certificate is 4 to 5 minutes. So what about 60 certificates? If the certificate is equals to now 60 times 5. And you get a total of 300 minutes. So to get the number of hours inside 300 minutes, remember 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. So we are going to say our 300 divided by 60, and you get 5 hours. So the person says, verify show calculation that the statement is correct. So the statement is correct according to our verification. So we are saying therefore statement is correct. So this is what we have on this part. Moving on to the next part of our question, which is going to be question 3.1.5. Give one reason why a glass cover is put in front of the certificate. So a glass cover in front of the certificate, obviously, we can say this is for protection, for protecting the certificate. Can also be a reason. So we are saying we have 3 points, 3.1.5. We are saying for protection. So we can say for build or for build is also correct. And with that, we move on to the next question, which is now 3.2. A bank consultant advised the educator to deposit the thousands she received from the awards in a fixed deposit at an interest rate of 5.5% per annum simple interest. And you have to write the interest rate per annum as a decimal. 5.5% is a decimal. We're saying 5.5 divided by 100. And it becomes 0.055. So that's how we present it in decimal. And the second part, calculate the interest that the educator will receive after 3 years. So this is simple interest. So we're going to say 0.055 times 5,000. And then the other value you get, we multiply by 3 to get for 3 years. So 3.2b. 3.2b, we are saying 0.055 multiplied by 5,000. So we calculate it like that. You're going to get your answer is 275 tons. Then for 3 years now, we are saying 275 times 3. And we get 800 825 marks. So that's is what we have on this part. So with that, we move on to the next part, which is now calculate. We are going to 3.3. Certificates will be pegged in a box as shown in the picture below, top view. 5 certificates can be stacked on top of each other. And the dimensions of the box that the certificates are to be pegged into is 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters. Picture of the rectangular box that the certificates will be pegged into is given. So this is basically that we have, and then saying calculate the number of certificates that will be fit in one box. And our question is 5 marks. And of course, we have dimensions of the box is 100 by 100. So, and of the certificate will 27 centimeters by 21 centimeters. So we are going to say this is now 3.3.1. So we can calculate by number of certificates along length. So with that, we compare the lengths that we have, whereby we have for the box we have got 100, for the certificate we have got 27. So we say 100 divided by 27. So we are going to get is 3. We are going to get 3. And then we calculate now number of certificates along with whereby we have the width we've got also 100 for box, and then for the certificate is 21. So 100 divided by 21. So you calculate, you're going to get it as 4. So now the total of feet in one box so total of feet in one box, we are now saying 3 times 4. And then if you check according to the question, they are saying we have according to the information that we are given, we have got 5 certificates. Such 5 certificates can be stacked on top of each other. So we multiply by 5 again. It's indicated here. Which means we are going to say times 5 and get your answer is 60 certificates. So this becomes your final answer. So basically, that's what we have with that part. And we move on to the next question, which says, give one reason why it is advisable to leave a space between the certificates and the sides of the box when packing. So this is to avoid the certificates from breaking if the box falls. To avoid the certificates from breaking. If the box falls. So basically, this is what we have in terms of our question 3. So moving on to our question 4, whereby it reads as Sekile High School, mathematical literacy educator prepared an activity for your grade 10 learners on assembling the face shield. So we're given a picture of a completely assembled face shield. So assembly steps. So you have to use the information above to answer questions that follow. Assist the learners by writing the assembly steps 1 to 5 represented by each picture. So, of course, we have got a picture, then you have to write what we have on the picture. They are representing the step. So step number 1, we are seeing that there is someone who's washing hands. We are seeing a tape, and then we see that there are hands that are being washed at this point. So we are saying step 1, wash hands. Or we are having an or here, which means you can alternatively wash your hands or use a sanitizer. So this is something that is being used, which is being applied, which appears to be a sanitizer, a hand sanitizer. So with that, we can use wash your hands. Wash hands. That is step 1, according to the first part. And then the second part, we see that there are gloves that are being worn. So wear a pair of gloves. That is step 2. Then in terms of step 4, that is our step 3. Sorry, we are moving on to step 3. So we are seeing that there is a hand that is pressing. So there is a hand that is pressing. So we can say press the walls of the shield into the pegs of the headband frame. So that's what we have. So we are saying press the walls of the shield. Onto the pegs of the headband frame. Then we move on to the 5th one, which is before the 5th one, we have the 4th one. So the 4th one, we can see that we are seeing that there is a hand that is holding something there, which is the assembly. So we are saying hold assembly with transparent shield facing down. So that's what we have on 4. So we are saying hold assembly. With transparent shield facing down. And in terms of the 5th one, on the 5th one, we are saying place a sheet of microfilm. Microfilm surgical tape on the inside edge. So that's what we have on that part. And then I will move on to the last part of our question 4, which says give one valid reason why the assembly instructions given in both pictures and word form. So why are they given? Should they be given in both pictures and word form? So this is to make it easier for a person who may not read to see via the picture how to assemble. So the one that cannot read through the pictures what it exactly means can use words. So we're saying to make it easier for a person for this last part of our question paper. So thank you for listening and hopefully the video was helpful. And please don't forget to subscribe and share to our channel and share the link to our colleagues who are doing the 10 movement for literacy. Yes, for this video, I'm signing.